Welcome back to eFoiling for Oldies. In this segment, we'll talk about hauling your eFoil onto a sailboat or another large boat. You will need a boom or crane of some sort to make this work. So here's the eFoil in the water. I attached it while I was still in the water by running the line through the handles and then with a carabiner attaching it to itself. That line runs up to a pulley attached to the boom in such a way that the pulley can be slid back and forth on the boom to get the right distance from the hull. What's not shown is the line also runs through another pulley at the stern of the boat and then through a winch, which we'll see in a minute. So I'm cranking it up, as you can see here. Once the eFoil mostly clears the water, though, it becomes a bit heavy for single-handed winching. So I'll move over to the winch and I'll wrap the line around the winch a few more times, then through the jaws to secure it, and then with the aid of a winch handle continue cranking it up. I crank up the eFoil. I get it so the stern end is even with the deck. Now what I did in subsequent attempts is I used that winch behind me to the right so that I could winch up the eFoil while standing up and while facing it, and then move back and pull it onto the deck, as you see here. Now, once it's on the deck, I could move forward and release the winch, but instead I'll just secure the eFoil and secure myself and have a friend release the line. Once it's released, I can pass it back through the handles and out, so it's free of the eFoil. And as I mentioned in a previous video, the eFoil with the battery weighs between 65 and 70 pounds. So it's a bit heavy, but not too heavy for short distances on a flat surface, as you see here. So I'll just pick it up by the mast and one of the handles, move it over to the cabin roof, and place it carefully on the cover, and make sure the lifeline runs between the prop guard and the wing so that it doesn't slide off in either direction. At this point, I can remove the battery. Now, the remote was already turned off before the video. So first thing I'll do once this is opened up is turn the battery off. Now, as you probably know, these batteries are volatile. They have to be handled with care. So we turn it off and then disconnect it. And I probably should have used two hands for this, but now we'll remove the battery from the eFoil and immediately put it down somewhere safe and out of the sun. So there it is in the shade, and I'll put it away very soon. But first, I just want to dry out the foil. Now that's a surprising amount of water in the box there, the battery box. It's more than usual, but I'll leave that open and out for a bit so that it'll dry out, and I'll help it along with the help of a small towel here. I'll take off the excess water. Now, ideally in salt water, we should rinse it with fresh water. It's a little bit more difficult when you're at anchor. Nonetheless, we dry it off as best we can so that it's ready to go for the next efoiling session. Thanks for watching.